Hey everybody, let's chat about that syllabus. Okay, so if you open this link, you'll open up the Google Doc for the syllabus. You can download this if you need to, if you want to, for whatever reason. It just gives you a bunch of the basics for this class, right? So this, you're in this, if you're in this class, you know why you're in this class. I'm Megan Knoll, by the way. I'm the instructor for this class. I am a former marine biologist turned science educator. I just realized that I was much more into how students learn than I was into shark stress like I originally thought I was. It's all wonderful though. I love it. I can talk about marine life for basically my entire waking hours. That's not why we're here. We're here to learn about this course. So this course has no textbook, not officially. Technically you are taking this class. You have to also have taken BIOL32, which is the lecture version of this class. So I am going to assume some things that you've already taken, okay? Or that you should already know, like what an ecosystem is. However, if you need refreshers, we do have access to this online textbook. You just click it, it opens up in Canvas, I believe. Oh, nope, in something totally different. But we have access to this nice, well-vetted ecology book or environmental science book that is wonderful if you need to look up things, okay? So we do have that textbook. You don't have to have any other books for this class, okay? Everything is online. Speaking of being online, we are an asynchronous class. That means that we do not meet in person ever. We don't even have Zoom meetings in person or at a certain time every week. You'll just get the lecture. Ooh boy. You'll get the video for the week, and then there might be videos put in between, like in specific assignments. If I have instructions I want you to understand in a different way, then maybe it's a little bit harder to understand from just reading it. There'll be little videos here and there, but otherwise it's a totally online class. Which means that you're going to need a computer. There are some apps that you're going to have to get that you'll need a smartphone for. If either of these things are a problem, you should be able to borrow them from Monterey Peninsula College. You should be able to go to the library and check things out. Okay, you do need to make sure you have some reliable internet access because again, everything's online. Okay, if you don't already have access to Lobo apps and Canvas, oh, you don't need Connect in this class. That's for anatomy. Then that is an issue. Please talk to IT. They should be able to if you have gone through orientation at NPC, you have access to these things. Okay, and make sure you're very honest about yourself and your habits. This class is partly about helping you learn about yourself and your relationship with the natural world. So give yourself time to really appreciate nature. That's something that I am a very big proponent for as an educator. Part of why I left science research to be an educator was because I noticed that that was kind of my big passion, was making sure people really understood that they're not beside the natural world. They're actually a part of the natural world. So we're going to be doing a lot of observations in this class and learning how to take nature observations and how to do measurements in nature in a non-destructive way. And so kind of make sure you're checking in on yourself when you're doing that too. We already did this. There are ways to, if you have any technical difficulties with Canvas, you can log into NPC and they can help you out. They will help you out with everything. There's 24-hour technical support. Make sure that you, part of the orientation in the first module talks to you about where to go and find that support. Okay, you will have several assignments per module. They might be taking measurements, making a data table, doing a discussion with your peers. Okay, there are a couple quizzes, that kind of thing. All of these assignments have point values associated with them. Sometimes it's just a few, like 5 or 10 points, not a big deal. And then other ones where there are more valuable assignments in that they are assessments and they're trying to make sure that you've learned something. Those are going to go up to at least at the most 20 points, okay? I'm going to try and make sure I have everything graded within a week and to give you real constructive feedback, because what is the most frustrating thing? Oh, it's when a professor just says, no, you don't get points, and then doesn't tell you why you lost your points. Super annoying. There's also extra credit points available, so keep an eye out for that. Our grading scheme is nice and not weird, okay? So it's 90 and above is an A, 80 to an 89 is a B. If you're ever wondering, well, what if I have an 89.5? Is that going to be an A? Well, a lot of times I'm going to tell you guys a secret, tell y'all a secret. It depends on your relationship with your professor. Some professors are, if you go and talk to them occasionally, if you know, even just be like, oh, I want to check in and meet you, especially with asynchronous classes, they will think of you more favorably when you are on that edge. If you have an 89.5, they'll be like, yeah, but you know what? They really tried. I remember their face, and bump you. So that's just a nice life lesson to learn. Okay. There's no makeup assignments or late work accepted unless you have a very, very good reason. And you know what? I am very open to reasons as long as it's not just, even sometimes we just have days when our mental health is too much and we can't do all of our work. But if you have 3 weeks in a row where you've waited until the very last minute to submit your assignments and you didn't, that's going to be a problem, and I'm not going to give you the extensions. But if now and then you need an extension for real reasons, I am absolutely okay with that. Just make sure you reach out in a reasonable amount of time and let me know. Okay. A lot of these things are things that we have to put in our syllabi for legal reasons, such as our objectives. A big thing we're going to talk about in this class is how to use a scientific method to study how humans impact the environment, especially the water cycle, because we live in California and water is a big deal. It's actually a big deal everywhere, but in California we have so little access to water that we have access to very little water or both of those are true, that knowing the water cycle becomes very, very important. So why is it that every time that we have a heavy rainstorm, suddenly you can't go to the beaches? Why is there E. coli everywhere? What's happening? So we'll be talking about that kind of thing. We'll talk about conservation in the Monterey Bay. So again, I live in Los Angeles, but I lived in Monterey Bay for a while. It's my very favorite place in the world. So we will talk about a lot of what's happening there and how people are working to save it and make sure it stays nice and beautiful. And you're going to be doing that through field observations, measurements of your local environment. Now you might say, hello, Megan, I live in an apartment. I don't have a yard. I'm going to show you ways to do nature observations, even if you have no access to big green spaces, okay? You can observe nature anywhere. And don't worry, that's a big part of this class, is just making sure you have access and know how to make observations, even if you don't think you have access, okay? One of the biggest things in science is entering data into data tables and working out calculations to analyze your data. Oh boy, and to do that using graphs and maps and all these things, and to present your data. So I haven't exactly decided how I want to do that. One of my colleagues, when he does this class, they actually meet once or twice a week on Zoom, and then they give their presentations that way. I think I might just have y'all record your presentations. I haven't decided. It's not for another 8 weeks. We'll figure it out. Participation. I'm not going to read everything. I'll let y'all read that. The first thing to participate, just do the work, y'all. It's very hard to fail this class if you just do the work. So, okay. If you have any questions, make sure that you talk to me. Like, I literally sit here waiting for emails all day, like a sad, sad lady. I just want to answer questions. And so I'm here for you always. Please ask me any questions you might have. The most interesting questions I've ever gotten always start with, this might be a stupid question. Absolutely not. They're the most fascinating. Someone asked me once, this might be a stupid question, but why is it you can stand on the moon and see space, but you can't stand on Earth and see space? I was like, that's actually an amazing question about the atmosphere layers that the Earth has. Let's talk about it. We'll talk about it. So please do not feel like any questions are out of bounds or, there are within reason, of course. I do teach an anatomy class for those other kinds of questions. If you have any questions, please let me know. Literally, that is my job as an educator, is to answer your questions, okay? Oh, keep in mind, this is a late start class, so we go twice as fast as this lab normally goes because we have to get through all the material in half the time, okay? I don't think it should be a huge problem in this class, but do make sure that you are keeping up with your assignments, or always due the following Sunday. And if you have any questions, again, let me know. Here's your dates as when you can drop things. If you have any accommodations, please make sure that the accommodations testing center reaches out to me. I'm very, very I'm all about those accommodations. I just need to have record that you have them, so I know exactly what your accommodation is. Okay. And last but not least, y'all, college is hard. Life is hard, especially now. If you ever have any kind of issues and you want to talk to someone about it, we do have crisis numbers, okay? I am a very, very, more important than anything else is your mental health. So please take care of yourselves, okay? Being human is hard and it's complicated and you deserve to live your best life, okay? Here's the deal. Now you're in my class. I will be devastated if you ever leave, okay? So please take care of yourself. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here's a bunch of things that MPC is very big on: plagiarism, cheating, academic dishonesty. The thing I see the most is when people turn in Google Docs and it's very obviously that they just copied and pasted from someone else's Google Doc. Don't do that. Just do the assignment. They're not that hard, I promise. And finally, on the syllabus, we have the modules. These are explained in more detail. This just tells you the order, but these are given on over here on Canvas, so I'm not going to go over those in any great detail. So this week and next week, we are doing just kind of orientation to figuring out how we use our tools in science, and then we're going to start getting into observing nature in the third week, and we'll do some quick biome and niches, however you want to say that, climate change, water quality, some home vegetation surveys, and mapping, two of my favorite things. We'll talk about wildfires because that is some of the absolute most destructive forces we have in California. People make a big deal about earthquakes, but you're much more likely to experience a wildfire than an earthquake in California, so that's something we are definitely aware of here. And then we'll talk about home habitat restoration, and then we'll be done with the course, y'all. It's only 8 weeks. We got this. I'm very excited you're all here. I'm glad you're here, and I look forward to our finishing this course together. Bye!